The News Hour at 10. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
It's significant that the Bharat Jodo Yatra is being started from the state of Tamil Nadu, and joining us live right now is the state chief of the BJP, Mr. K. Annamalai. Thank you very much for speaking to us. What do you make of the decision of the Congress to actually start the yatra from your state?
I don't see much with the way the Congress is starting the yatra from Kanyakumari, madam, because the yatra is happening in Tamil Nadu, that too a part of Tamil Nadu in Kanyakumari for today, tomorrow and day after. And then the yatra enters Kerala, which means the Congress themselves, they agree they don't see any fortunes in the state of Tamil Nadu. And significantly, they have called the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, Mr. M.K. Stalin, to flag off the yatra. As you can see in the function that is happening right now, you see more number of DMK cadres there as well. So it is more like a symbolic because they wanted to start from south and go towards the northern part of India, towards Kashmir, except the symbolism. I don't think there is not anything of significance in the yatra itself.
You have taken a pot shot saying that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is famous for his Bharat Chodo rather than Bharat Jodo. But isn't this an extremely ambitious exercise to mobilize this kind of party cadre over 150 days?
It's a very ambitious program, ma'am. Normally for every yatra, there's nothing wrong in political parties doing yatra. They do for various number of reasons. But the reason they have given to unite India, but there is no taker. Whichever state he goes, nobody would buy his theory that India needs to be united and Bharat Jodo would be the word. If he's keeping any other word like improving the Congress party, wants to meet the grassroots worker, that is their party decision. But keeping the logic of the yatra is Bharat Jodo, I don't think anybody is going to buy in that logic, especially considering his great-grandfather was the Prime Minister of this country, then his grandmother was the Prime Minister, his father was the Prime Minister. At different points of time, we all have seen how India was. And after Modi ji has come to power in the last 8 years, be it the abolition of Article 370, the complete integration of North Indian states, the various things that I have put in my tweet as well. Modi ji is a big unifier. And all said and done, the biggest unifier of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, in the Congress regime, the current the Congress people have forgotten him also. There is not even an iota of a speech about what Vallabhbhai Patel has done for it. As we speak now, the Unification Day is happening in Hyderabad. A lot of other things are also happening. So I don't think people would buy into his theory that India needs to be united.
Because when you took that pot shot, a lot of Congress leaders are hitting back, calling it a symptom of your nervousness, that Rahul Gandhi is now leading this massive mobilization and you are afraid it is going to spoil your chances in Tamil Nadu in particular and in the country in general.
Normally people can shout from empty podium. That is how I see many of the Congress leaders reacting to our statement. They're just shouting from the empty podium. Nobody is sitting at the podium. So what we've spoken is a fact. How India is completely integrated in the last 8 years, it is irrefutable data we have given. Abolition of Article 370, integration of northeastern states into the complete integration of so-called Bharat, where the geographical land was first time we are looking at what Bharat essentially means, and everybody believed they are an integral part of the Bharatiya vision. And also we mentioned about the unification doesn't mean the geographical boundary. Unification means also the gap between the haves and the have-nots has to be reduced, and everybody needs to be feel that they are an Indian citizen. How the gap is reduced, how the poor people, in terms of the metric, how they have become the middle class, the lower middle class. It is all irrefutable data in the last 8 years of Modi ji government. That is why we call this as New India. But the logic they talk about, unification of India, that logic nobody would buy. If they are talking about any other name for the yatra, as you have spoken, reviving the fortunes of Congress, the whole thing is to find the next leader for Congress. Maybe the top people of Congress have made their mind that Rahul Gandhi ji should be the next leader of Congress party. And the whole yatra looks like a sham to make it happen.
So, you say that when it comes to real integration, you're talking about Article 370 in a sense that keeping all parts of the country together. The Congress says that they are calling this Bharat Jodo because right now the country stands torn asunder in its very character, through hate, through religious polarization, through divides that is being created by your party. That is what they want to repair. That is why Bharat Jodo, to fix what you have broken.
The argument itself is meaningless because the character of this nation, the plurality of this nation is at an all-time high. the complete integration, the so-called artificial divide between North and South, the artificial divide that Congress was a master in doing it. All those artificial division is thing of a past now. Again, coming to the communal tension. And all those things, when we talk about in terms of metric, in terms of numbers, in terms of the FIR records or the NCRB data, India, so to speak now, when Congress was in power for 10 years, look at the communal violence instance that has happened, the bomb blast that has happened, the selective targeting of one religious community that has happened. So I don't know in what logic or in what number-based allegation they are making this point that India's character is torn. India's character right now is the Bharatiya character that is visible across everywhere, every single citizen. Prime Minister, our Honorable Prime Minister talks this up as Ek Bharat and Shrestha Bharat. All-time high it is. So nobody would buy into their argument, ma'am. Maybe for the political sake or a political point of view, they can keep talking, keep harping on this. But there are no buyers for this here.
You don't think there is a communal divide in our country that needs to be fixed? Because especially in your state, it is spoken of again and again. That's why a lot of Congress leaders, even of the DMK, said that the kind of divisive politics that BJP stands for, that is why you get rejected in Tamil Nadu.
BJP is never into divisive politics. Maybe since you mentioned about Tamil Nadu politics, I can quote the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly Speaker, many Tamil Nadu ministers sitting in a stage and doing selective appeasement of one community here, talking about because of their vote, only DMK has come to power. That is religious polarization. That is hate politics, madam. None of the BJP leader in the past also, we never spoke about dividing people to get votes. That is not our character also. Maybe till now the Dravidian party, especially the DMK, might have won elections after elections by the rabble rousing. But now politics have changed. After Modi ji has come, it is developmental politics. We never do any caste or religious-based polarization. I can give you a number of examples in the last 15 months after DMK has come to power. How ministers after ministers addressing selective religious audience sitting in the podium talking about only because of their vote DMK has come to power. I don't want to take any religion name here, but it is simply calling the case of a kettle calling the pot black.
If for a second I can, ask you to set aside your role of BJP politician, purely as a political observer, what is the mood that you are picking up? Do you think there is a re-energizing of Congress cadre ever since this announcement was made that he is going to be in Kanyakumari, that he is going to be launching the Yatra from there? Is everyone geared up in the Congress in Tamil Nadu?
I'll take your question, ma'am. I'm talking as a citizen of the state and maybe not as a political leader now. The Congress party has lost its chance a long time back for various number of political reasons. They have ceded Kachativu Island in 1972 and even in the Sri Lankan war in the 2008-9, what we called as the butchering of Tamil people in the northeastern region, where the Congress party had a direct hand there. So all those things have made Congress party in Tamil Nadu as a thing of the past. There is no way they can get back. And second, when you see the Tamil Nadu Congress leaders themselves, they call the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister as a great leader. In fact, one Tamil Nadu Congress leader, a senior leader, 3 months back, he wanted Stalin to be the next Prime Minister of the country. This is the state of Congress party in Tamil Nadu. So they have completely lost direction. It is more like a B team of the DMK, and the Congress have lost its essential character. I agree with you, at one point of time, Congress was a great party when Kamarajar was there. The great Kamarajar, whom we call as Karma Veera. Now, even the Kamarajar's memory is forgotten. The current Congress is not the Kamarajarji's Congress. It is the Indira Congress. When Congress got split, the Kamarajar's Congress was completely sidetracked. And this is the Indira Congress that is what they're in Tamil Nadu now. So I don't think whatever Padayatra Rahul Gandhi does, that is why in a tacit approval, he's doing Padayatra in only one district, that too in one particular direction towards Kerala, that too for 3 days. This Padayatra doesn't cover Tamil Nadu itself because the Congress party themselves, they admit they don't see a future for them in Tamil Nadu.
You spoke of the journey of the Congress from the Kamaraj Congress to the Indira Congress. Do you think next it will be Rahul Congress and maybe eventually Vadra Congress?
Well, that is why I call that as a fourth generation dynasty. I personally don't have anything against Rahul Gandhi or anything against anybody. Everybody is a leader who wants to do something for the country. I don't have anything, but the words they choose. For Yatra, they want to say unifying the country as if BJP is trying to divide it. That is where I have a problem now. If they want to grow the party, all the best wishes for them to do all the hard work, let them grow the party. That is no objection for that. So whichever way the direction they want to take, let them take it. But I see it is only going to be Rahul's Congress from now on because of the cheerleaders. It's a namesake election. Every single big leader in Tamil Nadu is the stage today. in the evening talking about Rahul Gandhi should be the next big thing here and there. How can you think that the election will be conducting free and fair whenever the electoral list is published and other people would also contest for the top post?
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Annamalai.
Thank you.
Good luck to you and good luck to Rahul Gandhi also for the yatra.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good luck indeed, but which direction is it going to go? Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP, is with us now. Shubhransh Rai, political analyst. My first question is to Kapil Madan, political analyst, and give them some time because Mr. Annamalai had a good 10 minutes from your party, Sanju Verma. So, Kapil Madan, respond to what Mr. Annamalai just said. It used to be a great party when it was the Kamraj Congress. Then it became the Indira Congress. Now it's just the Rahul Congress. Soon it may just be the Vadra Congress.
Now, Padmaja ji, one thing is very, very clear that they don't have anything to say on the yatra per se. So, meaning thereby they somehow admit that the BJP is indulging in the hate politics. And if you look at the data, this data is on record that in the past 8 years, the hate crimes, the number of hate speeches have risen manifold. Now, if the Congress party has taken upon itself to start a yatra, to send a message across the country that India is one, every community is one in the constitution, every citizen is one, then the only thing the BJP can resort to is the ad hominem argument because they don't have anything to say on merit insofar as the intent.
Here you had the gentleman saying that it is reduced to one person, one family's party, and he was literally borne out by two instances in your yatra where Mr. Vadra for no good reason appeared on the posters. And then you had Mr. Gehlot saying, yes, Mr. Gandhi will be the president soon. Then why are you having this whole election in October? If Mr. Gandhi has to be the president, then just make him the president already.
Now, let me respond. Now, you have made two important points here. One important point you have raised about the pictures there. I mean, there could be pictures of anyone. We have our Prime Minister who will ensure.
No, there won't be pictures of anyone.
Let me respond.
Is your picture there on Bharat Jodo Yatra poster?
Now, let me respond. Let me respond.
You are far more visible and far more vocal than Mr. Vadra.
Padmaja ji.
Supporting the cause.
Padmaja ji.
Your picture is not there, na? Mr. Vadra's picture is there.
Padmaja ji, but let me respond. Let me respond to that. Insofar as the issue of picture is concerned, we have our Prime Minister and we have a government here wherein even if ex-minister goes for an inauguration, you will not have picture of ex-minister, you will have picture of Mr. Narendra Modi on that. I mean, so you please don't say that it is a one party or
Okay,
if it
so
is
let's
a
take
picture
this
issue.
one by
I
one.
think you are missing the point.
This is not about Mr. Vadra trying to, elbow in. This is not about the family party or Vadra Congress. It was about being inclusive. The idea was everyone should be there, Sanju Verma. You should write a letter, maybe they'll put your picture there.
Padmaja, please. Kapil Madan is a fairly intelligent guy. I mean, I'm appalled at this absolutely lame argument bordering on, insanity, saying that Robert Vadra's posters in Tamil Nadu speak of inclusivity. Are you kidding me? I'll just tell you one thing, which we have repeated ad nauseum and me on your debate zillion times. The fact of the matter is, whether you like it or not, the Congress party is not learning from its mistakes, point number one. Point number two, the Congress today is not a political organization. It is reduced to being a private limited company with 4 key players. Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Vadra and Robert Vadra. Point number three, forget about Sonia, Rahul, Priyanka. Tell me what is the one single contribution of Robert Vadra for him to feature on the political poster of a political party, because when there are allegations against him in land deals, I clearly remember Congress saying he's just a private citizen. When we bring up the Sanjay Bhandari issue, he's just a private citizen. When we talk about his involvement in the Augusta Westland Commission deal, he's just a private citizen. Today, how is it that this private citizen called Robert Vadra has his mug plastered all over posters in Tamil Nadu?
Maybe because the private citizens believe against politics of hate. Maybe his ideology of love has found him a place on that poster.
Sorry, Padmaja, I was, by mistake, I addressed you as Rahul. My apologies for that. Padmaja, I just want to say one thing. I was listening in, see, Kapil Madan also found it funny. I mean, Padmaja is so much more intelligent. I'm surprised she didn't take offense to that. Rahul Gandhi has been making statements saying, love conquers hate. Gee, we agree with you. Fear conquers hope. Absolutely, we agree with you. But when I baat bataiye Rahul Gandhi ji, I will not address you as Pappu. Rahul Gandhi ji, who is spreading hate? Who is spreading fear?
Now let me respond.
Questioning every bona fide decision of the Modi government.
Can I respond to Padmaja? I think she's made a personal remark.
Personal remark, expunge, please. That's not okay.
I think she made a personal remark.
Before it goes downhill, no name calling. Okay, no name calling. Let's stick to the point. Shubhransh Rai, just a second. Let me bring in Shubhransh Rai. You've made your first point. Let me bring in Shubhransh Rai. Why fix what is not broken? कांग्रेस के जमाने में 100 से ज्यादा दंगे हुए थे, हजारों वहां पर ऐसी झड़पें हुई हैं, दलितों के ऊपर अत्याचार हुआ है, हम फिर से वो गिनाना शुरू कर देंगे। एक स्टेट में कितने राइट्स हुए हैं, बरेली में शायद हर साल ही एक दंगा होता था जब भी कोई जुलूस निकलता था। दैट बीइंग सेड, ये पूरा एक पिक्चर पेंट किया जा रहा है शुभ्रांश राय, जस्ट इन ऑर्डर कि एक कॉज मिल जाए जिससे दोबारा आप उनको रीलॉन्च कर सकें। शुभ्रांश राय।
पद्मजा, मुझे लगा कि आपकी डिबेट भारत जोड़ो यात्रा पे होगी, बट आपकी डिबेट तो शायद किसी पोस्टर के इर्द गिर्द घूम रही है। और भारतीय जनता पार्टी और उसकी मशीनरी गोदी मीडिया को मैं याद दिला देता हूं कि द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी हमारी राष्ट्रपति हैं। उनके निर्वाचन से पहले हर जगह नरेंद्र मोदी का पोस्टर।
शुभ्रांश जी, एक सेकंड, ओके। I make it very clear. I make it very clear. No, hold on a second.
No.
Have a civilized debate.
You
Don't come here and say
because
things like Modi media, this, that, and the other.
No.
The problem is, sir, you are given a platform. You are given space to say what you want.
You are that.
And then you sit and misuse that space to abuse people. And then you say कि हमारी कोई सुनता नहीं है। आपके पास सलीका नहीं है बात करने का, सर। आपको जो प्लेटफॉर्म मिल रहा है ना, डोंट मिसयूज इट। आप किसी को मत बताइए कि कौन गोदी है और कौन टोडी है। मैं बोलना शुरू करूंगी ना कि जो आपके सो कॉल्ड फेवरेट लोग हैं, जो निष्पक्ष आप जिनको बताते हैं, तो बात बहुत दूर तक जाएगी। सो काइंडली use the platform you are being given, behave yourself and speak your mind, okay? But be civilized. I am treating you with respect, sir. Return the respect. Do not use this platform to misbehave. And I make this very clear, all right? Go on, Mr. Rai.
What? Listen.
I am not here for you to certify people, okay? आप अपना प्लेटफॉर्म यूज कीजिए और जो लोग बोलते हैं ना यहाँ पे, एक सेकंड, मेरे को मेरा नाम पता है, बार बार मत लीजिए।
I am not here to take your ज्ञान.
I am not here to take your certificate. I am not here to take your ज्ञान और कौन किसकी गोदी है और कौन किसका टोडी है। Please make your point and move on. Go on.
अगर आप सच बोलने की हिम्मत नहीं रखते हो,
किसमें कितनी हिम्मत है, सर? I am not here to have a private slanging match with you, okay? अपना पॉइंट रखिए। आपको प्लेटफॉर्म दिया गया है भारत जोड़ो यात्रा के लिए।
आपने बात करी, आपने नरेंद्र मोदी के पोस्टर की बात करी।
अरे आपको प्लेटफॉर्म दिया है ना पोस्टर बोलने के लिए, आप बोलिए।
सो यू आर बायस्ड,
आप बोलिए। आपको प्लेटफॉर्म दिया है। यहाँ एक संजू वर्मा है, कांग्रेस के पक्ष के लिए 2 लोग हैं, वो नहीं दिखेगा आपको। दुनिया जहान के आप क्रिब करेंगे, विक्टिम कॉम्प्लेक्स है आपको, ये नहीं दिखेगा कि 1 बीजेपी पर्सन इज सिटिंग अगेंस्ट 2 कांग्रेस पीपल, बट यू विल सिट हियर, क्रिब, क्राई, प्ले विक्टिम, प्लेयर विक्टिम कार्ड, वो गोदी है, वो बायस्ड है, वो एजेंडा है, हमारी कोई सुनता नहीं, हाय बोलिए ना।
आज डिबेट का 1 मिनट,
काम की बात करेंगे नहीं, या तो मीडिया का विश्लेषण करने आ जाएंगे,
या फिर ये नहीं, आप नहीं करोगे मैडम। जो आप काम करोगे आपको आईना तो दिखाना पड़ेगा ना।
अरे आप अपने का आईना देखिए ना, जो आप यात्रा कर रहे हैं उसको आईना दिखाइए। हमारे पास हजारों आईने हैं सर।
फॉर 2002 गुजरात, हैड यू टॉक फॉर 1 मिनट, पद्मजा जोशी, हैड यू टॉक फॉर 2002 गुजरात
Yes.
नो, आपने
Yes.
बात करी नहीं करी?
Yes.
आपको वाड्रा
You
का
should
पोस्टर
watch the
दिखा।
channel. When you are not cribbing and playing victim, you would know. If you watch. पर आप इतने ज्यादा सेल्फ पिटी से ग्रसित है ना कि आपको दिखाई नहीं देता कि बाहर क्या हो रहा है। सर आईने की बात कर रहे हैं ना, आई हेट टू से दिस, आईने की बात कर रहे हैं ना,
आपको नहीं दिखाई
पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के लिए बेस्ट आईना इलेक्शन होता है। पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के लिए बेस्ट आईना वोटर दिखाता है। आपको वो आईना दिख नहीं रहा, दुनिया को आप ज्ञान देते हैं। चलिए बोलिए।
आपको
डिस्पाइट दैट आई एम गिविंग यू अ प्लेटफॉर्म एंड एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू फाइनली स्पीक अबाउट द यात्रा। अरे यात्रा पे बात कीजिए ना शुभ्रांश जी, आखिरी बार कोशिश कर रही हूं, बोलिए।
आपको पहले मैं उसी पे बात कर रहा हूं कि ये यात्रा जो है ये महंगाई के खिलाफ है। 2014 से पहले 200 रुपए से ऊपर का रिफाइन नहीं बिकता था। 2014 से पहले 100 रुपए लीटर का ऊपर का सरसों तेल नहीं बिकता था। 2014 से पहले 40 रुपए लीटर का आटा नहीं बिकता था। 40 रुपए लीटर का आटा, रिमेंबर। 2014 से पहले 100 रुपए लीटर का पेट्रोल नहीं बिकता था। 2014 से पहले 90 रुपए लीटर का डीजल नहीं बिकता था। 2014 से पहले 1050 रुपए का सिलेंडर नहीं बिकता था। ये आज बिकता है नरेंद्र मोदी के राजकाज में। 2014 से पहले 75 साल की स्वर्णिम जयंती के ऊपर 25% लोग गरीबी रेखा के नीचे नहीं गए थे। 75 साल की सबसे बड़ी बेरोजगारी आज है, 2014 से पहले नहीं थी। 2014 से पहले इस देश के संसाधन पे छोटे बड़े सबका अधिकार था। 2014 से पहले कोई किसी के कपड़ों को देखकर, किसी की जाति को देखकर उसके ऊपर कमेंट नहीं करता था। वो आज हो रहा है नरेंद्र मोदी के राजकाज में। और सॉरी टू से, मैं नरेंद्र मोदी जी को अपना प्रधानमंत्री कहता हूं, मैं उनको फेंकू नहीं कहता, क्योंकि ये मेरा सम्मान नहीं है। हो सकता है ये संजू वर्मा का हो, मेरे लिए वो मेरे देश के प्रधानमंत्री है और मेरा अभिमान है। उनकी गलत नीतियां हो सकती है, गलत नीतियों को आगाह कराना मेरा काम है। वो 2 करोड़ हर साल नौकरी देने का वादा आए थे जी, 8 सालों में 16 करोड़ नौकरी देने की बजाय सिर्फ 7.5 लाख दे पाए। ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, ये नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार का डेटा कह रहा है।
संजू वर्मा, दीज आर वेरी रियल इश्यूज एंड रिमेंबर इन द पास्ट कई यात्रा हुई है जिनसे सरकारें बदल गई हैं। एनटी रामाराव ने यात्रा की, जगन मोहन रेड्डी ने यात्रा की, गांधी जी ने दांडी यात्रा की। अभी आप सत्ता में बैठे हैं, बट थिंग्स कैन चेंज। मास मोबिलाइजेशन की कोशिश है और इश्यूज रियल है। एंड बिफोर संजू वर्मा रिस्पॉन्ड्स, आई एम वेरी ग्लैड आपने सम्मान की बात की सर, पर यह भी याद रखिएगा 2019 का आपका नारा था चौकीदार चोर है। कोई बात नहीं, आप सम्मान की बात कर रहे हैं, ये अच्छी बात है, सबको सम्मान दिया जाना चाहिए। असली मुद्दे, बड़ी रैली, मैस मोबिलाइजेशन। संजू वर्मा,
थैंक यू। अभी शुभ्रांश जी को मैंने एक बार भी नहीं टोका। पद्मजा जी, आई होप कि वो ही विल एक्सटेंड द कर्सी टू मी। मुझे अपनी बात कहने का मौका दीजिए। आपने कहा 2014 से पहले ऐसे नहीं था, वैसे नहीं था, डीजल इतने रुपए लीटर नहीं था, आटा इतने रुपए केजी नहीं था। शुभ्रांश जी, पद्मजा जी के ऑडियंस के बेनिफिट के लिए मैं कुछ आंकड़े रखना चाहती हूँ। मैं 30 सेकंड लूंगी। आफ्टर 2014 के बाद 9 करोड़ महिलाओं को उज्ज्वला योजना के तहत मुफ्त गैस सिलेंडर मिला। 2014 के बाद हर हफ्ते एक नई यूनिवर्सिटी और हर दिन 2 नए कॉलेज खोले गए। 2014 के बाद हर साल एक आईआईटी, एक आईआईएम और एक एम्स खोला गया। 2014 के बाद 2014 के बाद
मैडम कितना झूठ बोलती हो नेशनल टीवी पे। एक बात बताओ, एक बात हर महीने एक यूनिवर्सिटी खोला गया। नाम बताइए मुझे, 1 सेकेंड। 12, 8, 96 100 यूनिवर्सिटी का आप मुझे नाम बता के दिखाइए। झूठ मत बोलिए चैनल पे। 100 यूनिवर्सिटी का नाम बताइए संजू वर्मा। पद्मजा जी, मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है, संजू वर्मा को बोलिए 100 यूनिवर्सिटी का नाम बताएं जो कहाँ खोला गया है। ये झूठ क्यों बोल रही है?
सैनिटेशन रेट
झूठ मत बोलिए संजू वर्मा, झूठ बोलना।
वन एट अ टाइम प्लीज,
व्हाट इज दिस पद्मजा?
वन एट अ टाइम। संजू वर्मा, फिनिश योर पॉइंट, फिर अपना सवाल पूछेगा। गो ऑन संजू वर्मा।
आफ्टर 2014 23 crore soil cards. After 2014, 9 crore free gas cylinders under Ujjwala Yojana. After 2014, 72 lakh LED bulbs.
That is fine, Sanju Verma. Hold on a second. That is fine. But let me remind you कि अभी आप जो उज्ज्वला योजना में चूल्हा दे रहे हैं, उसके लिए सिलेंडर खरीदने में लोगों को तकलीफ हो रही है क्योंकि सिलेंडर के दाम बढ़ गए हैं। हाँ, अब आपने सब्सिडी दी है, बट माय पॉइंट इज व्हाइल टुडे यू आर स्कॉफिंग एट दिस यात्रा, If a yatra manages to harness public anger, बदलाव कब होगा, पब्लिक का मूड कब बदल जाएगा, शायद आपको पता नहीं चलेगा, और ये 150 दिन चलेगा।
बहुत कुछ कहा। Now you made some very pertinent points, Padmaja. शुभ्रांशु ने बहुत सारे आरोप लगाए। मैं एक चीज कहना चाहती हूँ, आपके राहुल गांधी बार बार लव, प्यार, मोहब्बत की बातें करते हैं। ये वही राहुल गांधी है जिन्होंने आज तक एंटी सिख 1984 के जेनोसाइड के लिए माफी तक नहीं मांगी। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने एसआईटी का गठन किया, जिसके तहत सज्जन कुमार को जेल की सलाखों के पीछे भेजा गया। आपने आज तक सिखों।
Okay, now we are changing goalposts. We were basically talking about more bread and butter issues which affect the lives of people, and which if the Congress manages to tap into and amplify, could it change its fortunes? I am unfortunately out of time right now, but despite the apprehensions and the very serious charges of Shubhransh Rai, I assure you over the next few days as well, as the yatra progresses, maybe it's a good thing that it will allow everyone, it will prod everyone to have these conversations. Let's do it. For the time being, thank you very much, both gentlemen. Sanju Verma for joining me. The yatra has just started. We'll be keeping a close watch.